I'm a I'm amazed at how many market players don't use math, basic math in their trading. So for instance, I want you to understand that a short seller of an asset can only get 100%. And that's if the asset goes to zero. So for instance, if you want to short Bitcoin at 35,000, you get 100% win if Bitcoin goes to zero. That's it. Now, I just told you that Bitcoin did a 9x, 900% off the low in 2020. 900%. I was in it right off the low. All right. My traders were in it right off the low. So we got a 9x off the low, but you can only get a 1x if the asset goes to zero on a short. Now, that doesn't mean that shorts are not intelligent sometimes, but it does mean that you should understand that math, that you can only get a 100% gain if your asset goes to zero. Now, what's the odds of Bitcoin going from 35 to zero? I would say close to zero. So now you start going up the ladder from zero. What's the odds that it goes down to 100 from 35,000? Probably zero. 500, probably zero. 1,000, probably zero or close to it. 10,000, now we start to get off of zero. You understand? But likely, based on what I explained to you, no, not likely, not zero, but not likely. So still not a high probability trade from 35 to 10. So see how the opportunity is shrinking? So now if I told you that Bitcoin has never violated 20,000, which is a cycle high in its 200 period moving average, then so now we have, what's the probability of 35 to 20? Not extraordinarily high, but certainly not out of the ballpark, but not extraordinarily high either. So now we go to 30,000. Yeah, that's higher. But now we're talking 5,000. That can happen in a day in Bitcoin. So I'm shocked at how traders don't utilize this basic math in where are my probabilities? Are my probabilities now in Bitcoin after a 50% drop, with a probability of going to 20,000 relatively low, but going to 30,000 better, but I'm only 5,000 away? Like I say, it's better to build an accumulation on the buy side at this point. That the short play is it's too done already. The math is not there now. And it's too obvious. The market tends to undo what's obvious. All right. Bitcoin's downtrend is obvious from 69. That's the obvious play. And so I believe that the next surprise in Bitcoin is to the upside, not to the downside. But I do think that we need a flush out, though. We need one last flush out that knocks most people dead. And then that is going to be your key. Remember what I explained to you, how if an asset collapses, but comes back violently with a vengeance, that is one of your best opportunities. If it drifts back, that's not the opportunity. So you get a drop and then it drifts back. No. But if it violently rips back and undoes that drop, that's usually a major opportunity.